Hey, I'm Nikki Sanz, founder and CEO of Gigs. Welcome to the podcast.
Wait, that's my line. Welcome to the Gigs podcast. We're welding today. I'm your host, Nikki Sanz, founder and CEO of Gigs, the professional career platform for the live event industry. Today, we have a very special episode. We are giving you a behind-the-scenes look at Extreme Lighting and Sound, better known as ELS, based here in Nashville, to walk through their shop, demo their innovative ShowShuttle and ShowShuttle products, and sit down with the minds behind it all, with roots in fabrication, AVL integration, and a serious passion for making live events smarter and smoother. We'll be walking through the shop floor with founder and CEO Austin Grunberg, Vice President Glenn Grunberg, and team members across lighting, welding, machining, and install. I actually met Austin on our tour back in 2019 when he was out with Hunter Hayes and I was subbing, and it's been incredible to watch him grow and this company grow through the years. So let's get to it. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so tell me about the space.
Well, welcome to ELS. This is the shop. This is the production side. Cable wall. We build most of our own cables here and a lot of our own road cases and everything. So we're all, stacked up. This is where it happens.
All right, so how long have you been here?
We've been here, I think, 8 years now. We own the building, so growing out of it very quickly. So
yeah.
That's
Who are we
good.
passing by now?
This is Caden here, production lead. He's
What's up,
prepping
Caden? Hello. Nice to meet you.
some of our truss shuttles, which we'll talk about a little later, but
So cool.
getting some lights ready for a show coming up.
And then who's right behind us?
This is Winnie,
What's up, Winnie?
our shop pup. Say hi, Winnie.
Hey! You are so cute. That's our star today. All right, so how many people you got in here working at one time usually?
Usually about 8 right now.
Okay.
Getting stuff prepped, and this is kind of our AV install side, so it's a permanent installations gear, getting ready for for other jobs. So
Got it. I'm gonna drive that in a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep, this is our fabrication shop. So this is where we build custom fabrication products and our custom cart systems.
All right.
So this is the fab shop. This is Caleb, our lead welder over here.
What's up? Cool.
He's working on a ShowShuttle base, which we'll talk about in a little while.
You're gonna teach me how to weld. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then over here is Ross. He's our machinist. He's working on some parts
What's up?
for ShowShuttle and ShowShuttle. So
I'm very excited to also do this job. What is it called? Machinist?
machinist, yeah, machining. Yeah.
Machining. All right.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Luke, this is so bad. This is so stupid. Caleb Stewart, lead welder, master fabricator here at ELS. So, when did you get into welding?
I got into welding about 5 years ago. Place I worked at before, a factory called Modine in Lawrenceburg, taught me how to weld.
What do you love about it?
Melting metal with really high temperatures, and that's just a lot of fun to me. So
All right, so can you please describe, what does fabrication actually mean?
it just means to make things. So I can build anything if you give me a print and the materials. Here I'm mainly doing aluminum fabrication for the show shuttles and truss shuttles. There is a lot of steel fabrication. We do a lot of custom scenic work as well.
Are you going to show me how to weld?
Yes,
Let's
I'd love
do
to
it.
show you how to weld. I'll put it on the sleeve.
What is the device called?
A welder.
A welder. Dude. Really good question, Nikki. Great. And are these special gloves? Are these leather? What's
Yes, these are goat skin.
goat skin?
Better at heat resistance.
Okay, so what are we going to be making?
We're just teaching you how to weld. So
I'm so scared. All right, cool. Okay, so
you got your earplugs in?
no. Oh, it smells.
So it's literally just melting it and fusing the pieces
okay.
together.
Got it.
Making it
any
one.
tips?
How you want to hold it,
Yeah.
probably the best thing to do is grab it like this so you can stabilize it,
Got it.
and get a consistent bead.
Kind of like pool. Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is basically how I learned.
Cool.
They handed me the welder and said, get to it. I'm like, okay.
Get to it. Well, here we go. We're getting to it. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
You're going too fast.
Oh, I'm going too fast. That was terrible. That was so bad. You guys should zoom in on how shit of a job I just did. Wow, that's so horrible. I'm gonna do this next part perfectly. Okay. There we go. Breathing. Okay. Perfect. You guys, Caleb said I did a really perfect job.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. We're here with Ross Davenport, who's the lead machinist here at ELS, and we're gonna learn what that even means. So as a machinist, tell me about that job. What do you do?
Basically, I just take solid bars, mostly aluminum.
Okay.
So actually this part right here will become this part.
What are other parts that you can build with a machine like this?
Those are the end plugs. So these actually, let me see this.
Yeah.
They get welded onto a pipe. This locks in here and a bolt goes through.
Oh, okay.
So this gets welded to a pipe. That's what you mount your lights and stuff on in the ShowShuttle.
So something like this, a part like this doesn't exist unless you create it right here.
Correct.
What is this?
That is the corners of the bottom of the ShowShuttle.
Got it. So how do you make sure everything stays precise and exact?
Constant measurements.
Okay.
Test fitting. We get prints. We will measure per print.
Got it. So what brought you to ELS?
This is an amazing, amazing place to work.
Why is that?
The culture, the community, it's almost like family. It's completely different from anywhere I've ever worked before.
Wow.
Everybody works together. I can't say enough good things about it.
You want to show me what you're doing?
I can.
Can I try any of this stuff too?
You can hit start.
Yes! Okay, let's
That's
do
about
it.
all there is to do. I've got one of these bars
Okay.
already loaded in the machine.
Ooh, all right, so you load the bar, aluminum bar.
Yes.
Just a plain aluminum.
Just plain
All right.
aluminum bar. Stops. They keep everything located where it's supposed to be. All my cutting tools are in here. I have to load these, set the height. This is what's called a face mill.
Okay.
So this would deck, we don't deck the top of these off, but it's for smaller cuts. These are end mills. You can see how it'll run here in a minute. All of our programs are written on a laptop with a CAM program. And then I load them in the machine.
Got it.
It's all G code, which is foreign to most people.
That's pretty foreign to me. How long have you been doing this?
20 years.
20 years, man. Jeez. All right, let's do this thing.
Once everything's loaded, set, it's pretty much as easy as shut the door in memory.
And start?
Hit the green button.
Josh Gunnell.
Hey,
What's
how's it going?
happening? Hey, AVL Head of Integration and
Yes.
Installation. Let's talk. I want to hear about what you do. Can you just first tell me what AVL integration really is?
Well, it's designing and installing the gear and then configuring the systems to work together. Therefore, it works as one system.
And this is for more permanent installs?
Yes, for permanent installs.
Got it. What was your most favorite project that you've been on?
We did a big church in Kentucky where we overdid all the house lighting and then some stage lighting there as well. It was really big. We went and stayed there for a couple weeks.
Cool.
Long hours, but it was really satisfying to see how happy everybody was when they did church that Sunday.
Oh, that's
It was
cool.
nice.
Talk to me about problem solving, the way that you go about that.
We do like a 1-3-1 solution. There's one problem. We come up with 3 solutions, talk about it over the team, figure out what's going to be best and most efficient, and then we tackle it together.
You've been here about 4 years now?
Going on 4, yes.
What has changed the most in your time here?
We've grown so much, a lot more people, a lot of gear. We got a lot of new stuff. When I first started working, there was like 4 people. It was Glenn, Austin, one other guy, and me. I got to work side by side with Austin every day for a little over a year and learned so much. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
He's taught me a lot.
You're gonna fix up this cable, yeah?
Yep.
Can you show me how that works?
Of course.
And what does that even mean? Like, what's inside of a cable?
It's just 3 copper wires.
Okay.
And this is the cables we use for our lights.
Got it.
It's the power in and out. So you got 3, the green's the ground, black's live, which is the one carrying the power through, and then white is neutral. and it's labeled on the back of the cable where you put them in it. And this right here tightens it up to hold the cable into its place.
You know, I know you just taught me, but I think I should give it a whirl.
That's all right. Yeah,
Can I just screw it?
Get on in there, tighten it up.
Here we go. Tighten in a cable. Am I doing it right?
Yep.
Righty-tighty, right?
Righty-tighty, all right.
That's what I always say.
Should be good. And then that's the finished cable right there, labeled, coiled, ready to go to the cable wall.
Hell yeah, Josh. Thank you so
Beautiful.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Sweet. All right, I'm here with Caden Newby, who's
Yep.
lighting designer and production lead here. All right, how did you get into lighting?
I applied for a stage manager role, which quickly grew into audio design and then lighting design. So I spent hours and weekends and time just self-learning on a small little rig system we had. I did that for another year. The lighting was like, oh, hey, this is my passion now. Like, this is awesome. I love this.
Okay,
So,
why? What about lighting for you?
to be able to set the mood and kind of make people feel or like a certain way about something or to drive their focus somewhere, that just, for me, felt really powerful. And it's like, that's kind of my role now is the lighting guy.
The lighting guy. Okay, so what are we looking at? What's in front of us?
Well, here we have a couple of basic washes. We have some Razor 760s. The bigger one is a 1960.
Okay.
And these are all wash fixtures. These are some of my favorite. They're blinders, and I have them. It's a little Easter egg back to one of our shows we've done before of a triangle shape I designed for one. For the idea of this rig, it would be on your downstage, so it'd be
Okay.
like closest to the people on the outside of the stage. And so blinders are always kind of for like audience wash, pop effects, and then the beams would be inward. That's what those are. They're hydro beams.
So many words I don't
Fun
know.
little things.
Sick. What's a gobo?
It's like a little, think of it as like a little wheel in there that is before the light, and it makes little pictures.
So why have you been with ELS for so long, and how does ELS really help you push you creatively?
Austin, freaking love the dude. It's like a family here. He's really been the best mentor I've ever had, best boss I've ever had. A really great team. I love being here. I love coming to work.
Any kind of advice you could give to people that want to get into this industry?
It's a lot of work. Maybe not advice, but a warning for some. Like, it looks so much fun to be on the stage doing all the things, but this and everything you see here, kind of, all the behind the scenes, there's a lot that goes into everything. So it's as fun as you think, not as easy as you think. Take the dive.
Well, thanks, dude.
Yes, thank you.
So what's left to get this thing ready to ship out? What else do you have to do with this?
This one, I would just need to continue to clean up the cable a bit. If, people see this the way it is now, they're gonna be like, oh gosh, we don't want that.
And just ship it out.
Ship it out, plug it up, it's good to go.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks so much, kid.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All right, so this is the ShowShuttle and the ShowShuttle.
Yep.
Tell me all about this.
So this is a ShowShuttle, our newest product. It's a modular touring set cart, meat rack, basically whatever you want it for. We've got tray modules that you can put different types of floor fixtures and cables, hazers, all sorts of different entertainment goods. And we have tons of modules planned for it. So the whole point of this is to cut down on the waste of the industry, things that are built or designed for one tour, one design, and then scrapped or stored for long periods of times afterwards. So it's fully modular, which allows us to adjust where these are. So these are our pipe modules. They can be either square pipe or round pipe, as shown up here. And these just simply loosen up, and we can slide them in these slots, which you saw these
This
being...
is the piece that was
Yep.
just made.
You saw these being machined earlier. So
Okay.
these are our end rails, and then the plugs you saw machined go in the end of these pipes. So everything is super durable and road ready and strong. Kind of the Swiss Army knife of a set cart.
Working in this industry, you got to see the way things were done poorly. And so this was kind of your concept, and then hearing from other people, like, hey, what if this existed? What has been the response from the industry so far?
People love it. We're getting tons of buzz. We just launched. This is actually like a prototype. Like whatever the industry wants to see, whatever they want to put in it, we can design a module for that and then add it to the list of modules. And so if someone has a custom use for it, we develop the module for them, and then we have that module in our catalog to be able to use.
So really saving money too, because this can replace 4 road cases.
Yes.
And you just keep it tour after tour.
Yep. So everything is made here in our shop. As you saw earlier, it's all made in the U.S. and everything's sourced in the U.S. as well. So fully USA made product.
And it's almost as if I did that, right?
Yeah.
Ha-ha.
You're a welder
You
now.
should hire me. I'm a welder now. When can people get their hands on this then?
Right now they're on the website and pre-order and pre-sale. We have special pre-sale pricing now that's live, so we're ready to go. We're getting them out there.
Do you feel so proud?
Yes, this has been 6 years of development, and so it's been a passion of mine to get these out. And hopefully it changes the way that we move gear and helps crew and helps companies even be more efficient and be more cost saving and less wasteful.
How much weight can this thing hold?
A lot. They are very durable.
And I trust you now. It does hold me. Great. Cool. This was fun. See ya, real. See ya. We are sitting down now with Austin Grunberg. Austin is a touring vet turned entrepreneur who's redefining what a production company can be. As the founder of ELS, he leads with a deep commitment to operational excellence and crew well-being. Austin's experience spans lighting design, AVL integration, fabrication, and large-scale event execution. And his company continues to raise the bar for innovation and culture in the live events world. So, Austin, welcome to the Gigs Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So excited. This is kind of cool. Like really, and this is kind of, I feel like just the touring industry and the live event industry is just getting to watch each other grow. So let's start with going straight into it. What is one of the hardest lessons you've had to learn owning your own company?
Man, there's so many, but I think the hardest one is people. People are the most important thing of running a business, and you can't do it all yourself. As much as I've tried over the last 11 years to do as much as possible and try to do it myself, getting good people, the right people, people that fit the culture, and, coaching them and building them up and, all working as a team. It's the most important thing. And it was a hard lesson. It seems simple now that I look at it, but it's just difficult coming up and trying to figure out what to look for and when to speak up, when to say something.
I mean, you started ELS at age 17.
Yes.
Most 17-year-olds are not thinking about business in their future. So take me back to that moment where you thought, let's do this.
So I've always had a passion for lighting and production, and my dad has always been a big person for owning your own business, for working for yourself. He's always, said that's what you want to do. You want to run your own thing. And so, as I was growing up, I was like, he's right. Like, let's do this thing. We can do it better. We can do it faster, or any number of things that we thought we could kind of do better. We could bring a certain aspect to the entertainment industry. So we started this thing, and it's been history ever since.
So take me back even before 17. You started in this business in lighting specifically?
Yes.
All right. Tell me about did your dad drive you into this industry? Tell me about that.
So I've always just had a passion for lighting. The nerdy side of it is that emergency lighting has always been cool to me. So fire trucks and stuff like that. And I've just always been, enamored by lights and thought it was cool. And so I always loved music and play some instruments. So that was, what my dad instilled in me was my love for music. And he's played guitar, I played drums. So we've always jammed together. And so I was like, how can I combine the two? How can I, make a career out of lighting and make money at it? And it was, entertainment lighting and concerts and events. So the passion was strong. When I was 12, 13, I remember I would just be on Google, researching lights, just nerding out over stuff that I thought was cool and looking at specs and stuff. And then eventually I asked for lights for Christmas, a couple lights. I got 2 color palettes and a color strip from Chauvet, and just that was it. And that's all I wanted. That's all I got for Christmas was lights. And I started my own little company. And at that time it was called Ag Light, which is kind of a horrible name now that I think of it. AGLITE. So Ag Light was the first one. I still have an email with that. But,
no way.
And then, fast forward, I kind of got into theater. We had an 8th grade play, started, doing project for that, doing theater and doing.
You were the techie.
Yeah, the techie kid.
Love it.
Yep. And we had a talent show, which I actually got to use my lights on. So that was like my first official gig as Aglight as a company. And then I eventually got a job as like a lighting tech and helper kind of intern at a club in Illinois. So we are from Illinois originally and worked at a place, funny enough, called Austin's Fuel Room. Not named after me, but it was meant to be. And I was 15 and learned how to coil my first cable properly, learned how to set up for bands and backline, learned how to load in, and, you know, did some like pretty decent rock national bands like Puddle of Mud, Jackal, like some bands like that. And so that's where I kind of cut my teeth, learned Hog 3, learned my first lighting console and everything. And then eventually we moved up here middle of my freshman year, was in theater programs and worked at the People's Church here in Franklin at the time as a, you know, their lighting designer, lighting guy, did, you know, a lot of Sunday services. And then eventually junior year, we started ELS and
junior of
started
high
growing
school.
that. Yeah, junior year of high school.
So you're providing for theaters and these are local. When do you start getting more clients? Were you the lead salesperson at age 17? Like, how did ELS grow from there?
So we originally started out doing installs and integration. So at the time, my dad worked for an electrical company in town. And so we basically were able to subcontract the AVL work that was needed for the electrical jobs and be the AV installer. And so that's kind of how we started ELS. So we started doing schools, a lot of K-12 auditoriums, permanent installs, and that's kind of how we started the company and were able to grow from there and able to, you know, build capital and all of those things. And then once I got out of high school, and actually at the time, that is when we really started going after our touring clients and going after some live production stuff and stuff like that.
For listeners who don't know what integration and installation is, can you explain really what that means?
Yeah, so integration is permanently installed AV equipment, audiovisual lighting, in spaces like schools, churches, auditoriums, things like that. So the speakers that are permanently hung, always there, the lighting, you know, that's always there, the projector and the screen for the projector that's always there, more permanently installed, kind of the infrastructure of AV for any space like that. So it's a little bit different than production and touring because the cabling is permanent. It's a different install type of cabling. It's usually permanently installed in the ceilings and in pipe and places that you don't see. And it's usually terminated permanently or soldered permanently instead of being more disconnectable in like the live production world.
Got it. Okay. So you start there, you get out of high school, now you got the time to go after touring clients. Was that a dream to get on the road?
Yes. Yeah.
What's up, Winnie? You got a cute dog.
Yeah,
you got a cute
Winnie,
shop dog.
the shop dog. The goal was always to go on tour. Like that was the thing that I always wanted to do. Obviously in high school, you know, I had considered getting out of high school early and getting my GED because the company was already going, you know, at that point. But at that time, I was actually planning to go to college. I was like, MTSU was ready for me. They were hoping I was coming, but the company got so big and so we grew so quickly, so fast that I couldn't afford to go to college. Like we were already doing it. So it's like, you know, I don't necessarily have to go to college. We're already succeeding in what we're doing. And so, you know, it's kind of school of hard knocks. We're doing it. So let's do it. So didn't end up going to college. And I was actually able to go on my first tour right when I got out of high school, which was Maddie and Tay, and toured with them for several years at multiple positions. Learned a ton about more things than just lighting. I started as lighting, but then moved into guitar teching and monitor engineering and stage managing and backline teching. So I got to learn how to guitar tech, how to drum tech, and all these other jobs, which has helped me immensely in ELS for the last several years since then. So
okay, so Maddie and Tay, were they opening for different artists at that point?
Yeah.
So is that a good opportunity if you're with an opener and a younger act to do all these different jobs?
Yeah, 100%. I was always very willing to do whatever was necessary to be a part of the tour. Obviously, I became very close with the girls. Like with Maddie and Tay, we became friends because we were at the same age. I was
crazy.
18, they were 19. So like all three of us were underage. So like if the band was going to places we couldn't go to, like we're watching movies on the bus or something. So we became really close. And in that, I didn't want to, get off the road just because, it was a summer tour and we weren't carrying lighting or something. And they asked me like, hey, we've got these other things we need. If you want to do those, you want to learn those. And so definitely like applying yourself and being open to learning whatever position, it'll help you in all aspects, 100%.
Wow. Guitar teching, drum teching, stage managing. What was your favorite out of all of the different positions you held?
I think guitar teching was probably my favorite. So I guitar teched for the girls themselves. So dealing with their acoustics and a mandolin. And so, multiple times during the show going up and giving them their guitars and getting their guitars and like night after night and all the different venues, those exchanges on stage, the little kind of looks and smiles and stuff, or maybe they say something or maybe you say something, like depending on the show, like that was always fun. Those are like core memories. Sometimes messing up, sometimes bringing the guitar a song early and then being like, oh, turning around and running off stage, we're all human. So,
yeah.
And then laughing about it afterwards or, whatever it is. So it was a lot of fun doing that. I also really I did monitors for a while. So that's kind of where I cut my teeth as learning how to audio engineer. And so that really expanded my audio knowledge versus just being mostly lighting.
Doing it all, man.
Yeah.
I feel like with those tech positions, I was in production, so I was very much just in the office, very behind. But I feel like with these tech positions, especially guitar tech or even running monitors, running a lighting console, like you are a part of the show just as much as they are. Do you feel like that performance, it's going on and you are performing? Do you feel like that your creativity gets to be stretched in that way?
Oh yeah, it's one of those things, like it's high pressure, I would say, like those things, because there is a lot, like you're part of the show, like it's I don't necessarily want to compare it directly to like missing a note as a band member, but like if they don't have their guitars or they're out of tune, like it's a very noticeable thing. And so just making sure that you're on the ball and you can kind of thrive in the pressure is kind of what I would say.
So you're with Maddie and Tay that summer. What other artists did you then hop on tour with?
So obviously we were on support tours. Yeah. So we were out on tour with Lee Bryce. We were the opener, and funny enough, Dylan Scott was our opener on that tour, which I met those guys, and Dylan Scott's actually still a client to this day, of ELS client. So
look at that.
It's all relationships, as most people in the industry know, but that's how far back. I was 18 and met the Dylan Scott guys, and they're still a client today.
Well, I'm going tomorrow night.
Oh yeah?
Are you guys going?
We have a show. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll be doing Waka Flocka at F&M Bank Arena in Clarksville.
How did you get Waka Flocka, man?
We've been doing Austin Peay's like homecoming and stuff.
Yeah,
that's their homecoming show. It's Waka Flocka at the arena.
Are you going?
We're doing the whole thing. The truck's loaded and everything tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, so you're doing all these different job titles. You're learning so much, which is only helping you as an entrepreneur, you as the owner of this company. How is the business running behind the scenes? Is Glenn handling it? Do you build a team? How does that work?
So at that time it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was 3 days of touring. While I was on tour, I was doing paperwork and designing and stuff. And then as soon as you get back, it's like right into installs. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'd be catching up. I'd be working 12, 15-hour days, 20-hour days to keep the installs on track. And then Wednesday night, be back on the bus and go back on tour. So it was 7 days a week. It was worth it because I was learning so much on tour and having so much fun on tour and just so much experience and stuff. And then we were also running the business. But it eventually got to a point where I had to come off the road because it was too much, and ELS was just growing too fast, and we needed to hire people, and I needed to be focused on ELS full time. So
was that a tough moment for you?
A little bit, yeah. It's funny. I still get to fill in on tour once in a while, so I still go out, and when I go out, I kind of like second or third day, I'm like, I don't miss this as much as I thought I missed it. It's like, yeah, this was fun. It's like to be back out there, but it's not for me anymore necessarily. But I like ELS. I like the the grind here. So
yeah, I mean the way that you got to flex your mind running this too. All right, so you're doing installs, and then have you ever been talking to a client and realizing it's just maybe not the right fit, maybe not the right culture fit? What do you look for in partnerships and working with other people?
To be honest, I think any entrepreneur has trouble saying no. We definitely have trouble saying no. And for the beginning, we didn't really
say no ever. I mean, it's kind of hard to, but we're good, fair people. Like, we want to collaborate, work together, and we want to innovate and kind of like push your design or push what your, you know, live show is to the limits that we can within whatever budget that you have. Like, that's kind of what we bring to the table, is think within the box, but think outside the box, you know what I mean? Even if there's a budgetary box, because I think the best creative ideas happen when you do have a financial box around you, because you have to figure your way out around it.
Yeah.
And so just doing that and being able to do it under one roof, like start to finish, has always been kind of our thing. So finding clients that want that level of care and commitment versus just wanting gear, just wanting, you know, kind of a hands-off approach is kind of more what we try to look for, because we can do just gear, but we have a lot more to offer than, you know, just being a dry rental or just being a gear place. Finding the right people and building a culture that people want to be a part of has been obviously the kind of turning point that I've learned over the years, you know. And I mean, I was 17 when we started this thing. I didn't know anything about building a company or a culture. I mean, I didn't even know what my culture was. And so over the years, I've learned that, you know, my goals and my vision and where I want to go, you know, where ELS is important, because it sets a target on the wall of like, this is where we're headed. You want to get on the bus with us and you want to go here, you know, and that's all kind of what culture is, bringing it all together. And everyone's like, yeah, I want to get on that bus and I want to go with you to there, you know what I mean? And doing that was a big turning point for me, because till probably about 3 years ago, we did not have culture. Like, we didn't have a target on the wall. It was just kind of like,
let's just get
we're
the
doing
job
jobs and making money and doing, you know, that's all it was about. And you can go to a certain point with that, you know, mentality, but eventually you have to sit down and go, okay, what's our long-term goal? What's our short-term goals? And what do we stand for? What do we, you know, what are we about? And when you think of ELS, or when you think of what product we deliver, service we deliver, everyone has to be aligned to that.
What are your short and long term? Like, what did you kind of think about? What did you, when you see ELS at that time in 10 years, what did you see?
I want to be obviously an innovator. We want to innovate in the industry, and not just for, you know, the technology or the wow factor, but also for the ease of use and the protection of the crews too. You know, touring is not necessarily the easiest on crew sometimes, and it's not the easiest hours and things. So if we can make things faster so that it's not as long of a day, and we can make things lighter so there's not as much lifting and kind of back-breaking work, that's kind of fabrication's main goal. You know, in production, it's delivering just a high quality product, being on time, doing really cool shows, not recycling designs, even if it's, you know, an in-town show or a one-off. And, you know, integration is just having very clean installs and clean racks and everything. So it's basically just overall the arching, you know, mission vision is kind of just to be a leader in innovation and high quality work, and protecting the culture of the industry and the people of the industry as well.
It's a big goal, man. Good for you. I mean, that's such a beautiful vision and mission. So as part of really being an innovator in this fabrication, you guys had the idea of, how do we make things better, more efficient, innovative? You come up with the ShowShuttle and the Truss Shuttle. So would you mind taking me through that whole journey of when you had the idea, when you started, and where we're at now?
So we have always, you know, used road cases and things. We have built our own road cases, and the price of a road case and the single time use of a road case is kind of the main downsides for me. The weight too, and the stacking and unstacking in order to get the best use of a truck. So we decided to build a road case sized, truck pack sized cart that was taller, so that it is not stackable necessarily. So you don't have to stack and downstack, so it protects crew. And they're more efficient because you can put more things on them because you have a bigger box to use. And they are lighter and faster and easier on crew. And so that's the ShowShuttle's vision, is kind of just making it faster to load in, being able to put more stuff on it, and, you know, not having to stack, so it being easier on crew.
Why are cases a one-time use sometimes?
So most of the time, like, cases are foamed out, or they're built specifically for a certain type of fixture. And so they can only, in regards to a lighting case, they're specifically foamed out and padded exactly for a light. Or, you know, maybe it's a wardrobe case, so like it's only a wardrobe case, or it's a work box with drawers, or it's a guitar vault. So there's all these different cases out there, but like they're kind of a one-time thing. Like if you, as a small to medium company like us, like if you had a guitar vault and you needed it to be something else, it's not that easy to make it into something else. So having something be modular and reconfigurable is kind of the whole idea with the ShowShuttle series.
Wow. Again, that's like the best innovation. That's the best entrepreneurs, is feeling and experiencing the pain and then knowing, wait, I think we can do this better. So how did you start coming up with the designs of the ShowShuttle?
So just wanted it to be truck pack size, wanted it to be able to fit through a standard doorway. So they're 78 inches tall, doors 80 inches, so it can go through a man door, because, you know, thinking about it in the like one bus, one trailer tours, or smaller companies, clubs, things like that, there's a lot of those places that don't have a roll-up door, they don't have a garage door, maybe they have double doors or something. Like we've all been in, you know, some of the, especially in the country circuit, some of the honky tonks that are like, you know, ramping through the front door, 3 ramps, and, you know, onto the stage, and there's no loading dock. And a lot of those, like, there's no forklift and things like that. So you're taking stage hands, or, you know, your crew, and every day you're having to downstack some pretty heavy cases. And at the end of the night, you're having to restack cases. And so the idea is to be able to use the ShowShuttle instead of some of those cases, and not have to downstack, and still be able to go through a standard man door, commercial man door.
So cool. How long did it take to design and get your first, what is it called? What's the first?
Prototype. Yeah. So we've been developing it for probably 6 years now. It has been not necessarily a front burner thing, because it's kind of R&D. So with running all the other things of ELS, it hasn't necessarily been a first priority the entire time, but it's been kind of working in the background, and we finally have got it to see the light of day, and finally got the prototypes. And the thing is, like, our attention to detail and quality is, I don't want to release a product that's not like vetted 100%.
Got it.
So we actually have Gen 1 ShowShuttles out at multiple companies that have been road tested, have been used, and there's been feedback, and good and bad, and we've made those changes already. So the product has already been iterated. Like, we call it Gen 2 internally, but it's like Gen 5. Like, we've reiterated it, re-prototyped it multiple times. So the product that we have today is not patched together. I didn't want to come to market until we had all the kinks worked out, and we had it as modular and as universal and configurable as we possibly could get it. So
that is so freaking exciting. In order to do and work as much as you're working and doing, you got to have a passion. Are there days where you just do not want to be doing this? What do you do on those days? Where does your mind go?
You know, it's tough. We're all human, and we have those days. Everyone has those days, no matter how driven or passionate you are about something. And, you know, sometimes you have to listen to yourself. You have to give yourself some grace and sit back and breathe. You know, sometimes, like, my favorite saying is tomorrow's another day, because, like, sometimes it just doesn't happen, you know, especially in the creative realm. I've always been more creative at night, and business works during the day, the morning, right? I'm not necessarily a morning person. So building my schedule to be able to work at night, maybe, or during the times I have to be very creative. Maybe it's changing my surroundings. Maybe it's, I'm going to go work in a park or a coffee shop. And maybe it's just listening to myself and going, you know, I've been burning it hard. Time to take a breath. I'm going to watch movies and be lazy. And it's okay to give myself those, you know, those days sometimes too, you know?
That's huge. That's huge, because then as owner, if you're burnt out, then you can't lead the team, and that's beautiful. We have so much to get into, and we have so many people here to talk to, but I want to just do a quick little rapid fire with you. So, what was your first concert you ever went to?
Disturbed at the Rave Eagles Club in Illinois, historic venue.
How old were you?
probably 12, 13.
Hell yeah. You got a good dad, man. What was the first show you ever worked?
Probably Puddle of Mud was probably the
Got
first
it.
national act that I worked and loaded in and everything.
What is one piece of gear that you take with you to anywhere you work is a must and it's like changed your life?
I would say the DMX Cat. So DMX Cat is like a troubleshooting tool for lighting. You can remotely troubleshoot lights and address them, change their address and everything. And like, it has saved us on multiple occasions from having to bring truss in or climb ladders and remotely fix stuff. So it's on every gig, always in my backpack. Good
to know. That's a great, gosh, people are like, I don't know my phone. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's a great, great answer. Is there anything else, we're going to be talking even more today, but is there anything else you want to share about your vision and about your company, about what you guys are bringing to market, or about your team?
I would just say that we're striving to have a very high attention to detail. We're trying to deliver the best possible product and service we can. And we have a long list of products, a long list, because we listen and we talk to the industry, to people. And like, I get DMs of like, hey, you should build this. Hey, a better version of this. Hey, a better version of this. And so, listening and trying to carve out the time to develop all of these other products. I mean, we like have a running list of like things that could better the industry. And so, we're definitely trying to listen and to do that, to better the industry.
So the ShowShuttle and the Trust Shuttle are just the beginning.
That's the beginning. Yeah.
Let's freaking go, man.
We have tons of modules for the ShowShuttle coming, and then we have like a whole list of things that we're going to end up bringing out.
Let's go. Well, thank you so much, dude. We're going to get Glenn up here, and thank you so much. This is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, we are sitting down now with Glenn Grundberg. He is a Navy vet, an electrician, and a multidisciplinary expert with decades of experience in the trades. He's built homes, run electrical companies, and now leads operations and integration at Extreme Lighting and Sound. As a father and business partner to Austin, Glenn brings wisdom, systems thinking, and rock-solid reliability to everything he touches. Glenn, thank you for being on the Gigs podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
So excited we're going to get so into everything. I mean, you have a crazy career all over the place.
Pretty varied.
What is one of your proudest moments of being a part of Extreme Lighting and Sound?
Oh, there's so many highlights, but the proudest moment is watching my son blossom into an entrepreneur and a businessman, and just a rock solid human being. That's my overarching accomplishment is mentoring him.
What a beautiful thing to work with your son too.
Yeah, that's I've been self-employed my entire adult life, and one of the main reasons for that is so that I had the freedom to work with him and mentor him and be with him. Probably could have made a lot more money just working for somebody else. I certainly could have had a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks you're free when you own a business, but the truth of the matter is you just have a lot more bosses. All your employees, all your clients, everybody's a boss, everybody's demanding your time. So
what was your first boss then? First job?
My first job, I was 15 years old and I scooped ice cream in an ice cream parlor in Highland Park, Illinois called Mayberry's.
Love it.
That was an eye-opening experience. It taught me, why I didn't want to do that anymore. But then I worked in factories and I kicked around quite a bit. I get bored easy. I have entrepreneurial ADD.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to light on something that I really enjoyed, which basically became the trades. As a young man through middle school and high school, I worked with, my uncle was a carpenter, and I had various other friends that were carpentry contractors. So I worked as a carpenter for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with tools and worked in the trades. Along the way, picked up some electrical experience. And at the same time, I was a guitarist. And I was playing with various bands around the Chicago metro and suburban area. Chased the dream for a little while, rode the bus. The band that we were in was regional, verging on going to national.
Wow.
And it blew up. And when that band imploded, I threw up my hands and said, I'll never be in the music business again. Heck with this.
Really?
And I joined the Navy.
Okay.
So that was Glenn's life leading up to the Navy. Yeah, I roughnecked a little bit. I worked in the oil patch and traveled around the country, quite a bit before I actually landed in the service. But
and how long were you in service there?
5.5 years.
Well, thank you for your service, first of all.
called a friend of mine who was an electrical contractor, and I said, hey, you need help?
Wow.
That's really how I became an electrician, was deciding one day to do it, and I jumped trades, and it took me about a year to get my license. So I got my electrical license, and I just went off on my own after that, and I've been self-employed ever since, basically.
And then Austin comes into the picture.
Austin comes in the picture in 1996, and from a young age, I mean, he's always gone to work with me, especially in the summers. He never really had a summer vacation. He was off pulling wire and bending conduit, on various construction jobs.
Help me.
Putting in electrical, like if you look around the shop here, like that box there.
Yeah.
And the wiring that's coming to it, somebody installed that. An electrician installed that.
Mm-hmm.
He worked doing stuff like that, in houses and commercial buildings, around the Chicago area with me as a kid. He was 6, 7 years old. He was going out on jobs with me.
Wow.
I recall one time he took a big electric drill and he was drilling holes through wooden studs in a house. I think he was 12 at the time. The torque on these things is just massive. And it caught a knot or something, and it basically turned him around in a somersault.
Oh, my gosh. That's how you get some work ethic in a kid. Just get starting them early, man.
He was,
wow.
Yeah. He was a worker. He never shirked. He never shied from work.
And so when he then started ELS, you guys working together? You both started it?
I was an electrical contractor. When we decided to move to Nashville, I talked to a guy. They wanted to grow. They had 8 guys at the time. He asked me to come on board and take a position, an equity position in the company, take the licenses and help him grow the company. So I was an electrical contractor from 2012 to 2014 here in Nashville, just as the boom was beginning, and it started to break back open. And along the way, I had sold. I'm an estimator and a sales guy. That's what I do. I can, as an estimator, especially with public work, I can bury a company and work. Along the way, though, we had won a school auditorium, Fairview Middle School. It was a standalone auditorium, and as part of the electrical contract was the theatrical lighting and sound. Now, most electrical contractors don't understand that work, and they won't do it. They subcontract it out to an AV integration firm. But I had Austin and his buddy that were working at People's Church already. It's now Church of the City in Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
They were both on staff there as lighting techs and lighting designers. And I went to my partners. I said, why would we subcontract this out? Let's keep this money. We can have Austin show our guys how to do it or do it. They're like, well, we really don't understand that. We don't want to do that. So I said, well, would you have any objection to me forming a little side company and subcontracting it to myself? They said, no, as long as it doesn't take away from your work. Mm-hmm. And Extreme Lighting and Sound was born.
Boom.
I went out and set up distributorships. Our first dealership was actually Chauvet. Opened us. I mean, we buy direct from every major manufacturer in the industry. Chauvet, JBL, Harman, all the lighting vendors, Elation, Professional, Roby, everybody. So we buy direct. So we're able to offer not only as resellers but integrators and buy for our own rental inventories. But I set up all those dealerships and told Austin, I said, well, we're in business. I said, we're going to go ahead and do this. Let's try it and see what happens. The first job he ever did, he was still he was a junior in high school, and he was leading the crew and did the work at Fairview Middle School.
And that was the first
job. That was our first install and our first job as a contractor. So basically, if you walk into any building in Williamson County, a public building, you go to court and look at the TV on the wall in the courtroom, we put it in.
I hope I don't go to court.
I hope you don't too. Yeah.
I hope I never see it.
Go visit instead.
I don't want charity. I don't want any of it.
We've developed a reputation for excellence and for fairness. We're very ethical and we're very fair. So people keep coming back. So we must be doing something right.
It's amazing. And so your title with ELS is?
Well, I'm the CFO, COO, and I'm the co-owner, of course. Austin and I are partners.
As this thing has grown over the past, how many years has it been now?
12 in January. Yeah. January 10th. Yeah.
So as it's grown, what would have been the biggest changes you've seen in the company and then in your son in Austin?
The biggest change in the company is we've developed a culture and a system of processes that we never had in the beginning. The beginning was just kind of, hey, let's just go Wild West. We've gotten a little more, we've got more formal and we've gotten a little more organized, completely outgrown our space. And we bought this building in 2017, I think, and we've just completely outgrown it. 9 pounds of stuff in a 7-pound bag, literally. We've had to get hyper organized and hyper focused on systems and processes.
Great.
Biggest change in my son, you asked? Oh, just his development as a businessman. I mean, most of the systems and processes and business culture changes come from him. Me, I'm a little bit more, seat of the pants. I'm not real good at delegating or managing people.
Yeah.
I'm real good at delegating or managing vendors.
Yeah.
That's basically what I do for the company is I manage vendors, I estimate, I purchase, handle the material procurement and things like that. And Austin handles the people and the clients. He's the client facing. And that's perfect. It works really well for us. Yeah.
How do you define quality in your work?
A refusal to compromise. We don't use any material that isn't, top quality, brand new, state-of-the-art stuff. We won't put in obsolete crap. We won't put in cheap imported crap. We are very particular about quality control, about making sure that our quality can stand up against anybody's. We try to model our integrations against world-class installations that we've seen, that we know of. We try to look at what other companies that are successful do, and we try to, mimic them, try to model ourselves after them. And we're never afraid to make a change in our process. We're not hidebound in any way. If we see a guy doing something a certain way that is cool, that is righteous, we'll immediately adopt it. We'll go, yeah, we got to do it like that. And it becomes holy writ to us. So we're never afraid to make a change. We're never afraid to upgrade. Roll with the changes. I mean, you have to.
When people think of ELS 10 years from now, what do you hope that they think about?
Oh, ELS, best in class. No brainer. Hire them. You don't want to be, ELS.
And that's what we'll clip.
Yeah, that's what we'll clip right there. I'll clip that.
Yep, totally. Is there anything that, I guess the wisdom that you've gained throughout your own life, is there anything that you would share for people that want to come into this industry and work in this trade? You
got to have a passion for it. I mean, if you don't have a passion for being in business, for doing business, I mean, if you don't understand up front the level of commitment that it takes, then don't bother. If you've got the fire, if you really want to be your own boss, if you want wealth or if you want recognition or if you want just glory or, whatever you're looking for out of your entrepreneurial journey, be prepared for the downside. The flip side is 24/7 on call. 365 days a year. Be prepared for that and be ready to put in that time. And
but is it worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, even when you're in the heat of a loadout, you know that it's going to be okay tomorrow. And the show that you just put on, when the client comes up to you bubbling over about how wonderful the lighting looked or how wonderful the audio was, that makes it all worth it.
Glenn, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Earliest memories of working together, I would say probably building decks. We had a stint there that you built a lot of decks, and I remember I was always like chomping at the bit to drive the skid steer around. You would always do like the fine grading and the stuff that I didn't know how to do at, I don't know how old I was.
About eight.
Yeah. And then you would be carrying boards and framing decks, and I'd always have the post hole digger just like trying to hold on to it, and we built a lot of decks.
Yeah, we did a lot of remodeling. Yeah, decks and remodeling, and that's basically where he cut his teeth. He swung hammer, ran saws, under supervision, of course. Then once we got into the electrical business, you were about 12. You started bending pipe and pulling wire and drilling holes through studs. Remember almost breaking yourself in half on the whole hog? Yeah.
Flipping myself over.
We talked about that earlier. Yeah, he flipped himself over in a somersault with a big drill.
Yeah, that basement we did, we cut like the crawl space wall out, dropped it on tires, chipped it up into tiny little pieces by hand, brought those out basement like well window.
A conveyor.
A conveyor. Brought all the rocks out, and then by hand dug out probably 8 foot, probably a 20 by 20 room.
It was like 12 by 12 or 14 by 12 of solid clay. What we did was we excavated a crawl space under a house and turned it into a room in this guy's basement. But we had to cut a foot-thick concrete wall and drop the concrete wall on the tires in his basement. So it was, it was a very ambitious undertaking, but every day he was out there.
Yeah, during that project, I remember, there was a lot of heavy stuff and a lot of dangerous stuff. Were you ever worried about my safety during that?
Yeah, I was, I was concerned all the time. That's why I kept you out of the, out of the worst of it. And I was very hyper aware, if you will, of where you were and what you were doing at all times. You never got hurt on a job that we did for a client. I do recall the one time you fell through the roof. You fell through the ceiling when we were roofing our house. Yeah, he stepped off a roof rafter and went right through the dryling into my bedroom, hit the dresser and bounced off and landed on the floor. Yeah. I went right after him. That was the one big scare that we had, being on construction projects.
That hurt.
And I think you were about 12. You were about 12.
I landed right on the corner of the dresser. I remember I had a birthday party that night. And I went to, and I was like limping around. I had this huge gash on my back and like bruise on my back. And I show up to the birthday party, like, what happened to you? I'm like, I fell through the roof. They're like, what?
Yeah, you had a lot of great stories to tell us.
Stupid boy tricks.
Yeah, stupid boy tricks. Every school has a kid that the teacher goes to and says, hey, can you make this projector work? Well, you were that kid. Yeah. That's all you ever wanted to do was mix sound, run lights, run projection. You were the tech kid. So when I had the opportunity to quote that, auditorium, and I saw the theatrical component, I thought, why shouldn't we bring you in and let you do something like that? My fondest wish for you was that you never have to have a real job.
Real job.
The one time you worked, I did make you go out and get a job. Right? And what did you do?
I worked at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, and how was that?
I wore the suit and everything, did the Cupid Shuffle, worked the salad bar.
He was the mouse, worked the salad bar.
Yeah, I learned how to cashier. That was like the big benefit of that, was learning how to count change out and be a cashier,
handle money,
kind of handle people and customer service to an extent.
And handle people, sure.
And then of course the mouse costume. They had a one that was had a fat ring to make it look like he was a big mouse, and then they had one that didn't have it. I wore the one that didn't have it. I was plenty big enough.
You were plenty big enough.
I was a gigantic rat. Kids ran from me screaming. I wasn't there for a very long time because of a bad boss. Horrible boss, and I didn't want to be a part of it, and so never turned back since. Understood the value of working for myself and understood that pretty quickly.
I could never get past the whole entrepreneurial mindset. I'm just built that way, and I think you are too.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think I fully knew it when I was 16, 17, but as we've done this thing and as we've continued to build, I obviously wouldn't have it any other way now. What have we learned from each other? I've learned a ton. I didn't know what the hell I was doing when we started this thing. On my side of the fence, it's that we've always done a good job of balancing each other out. You have your experience, a lot of wisdom and experience in trades and electrical and running businesses and books and money and all of that experience and life experience. And I have a passion for production and the lighting and technical things, and so built those together.
You have a real talent for people. Your superpower is grace under fire. Nothing rattles this guy. Nothing. The world can be going absolutely to skata. It's a Greek word. You can look it up. It can be going to hell in a handbasket, and Austin will be just smooth as can be, and hey, we'll figure it out. And he'll devise a solution, and he'll work hard, and he'll be totally calm about it when everybody else is running around with their hair on fire, me included. That is what Austin has taught me. Believe it or not, is self-control.
What do you think a big turning point moment for us was, or a big struggle that we had to overcome?
Well, what happened during COVID was pretty catastrophic. All our gear was stacked, zero production work. We had no fabrication work. We had no scenic. We had nothing coming in. Luckily, we had integration clients that were still, willing to spend money during COVID, and we were able to get in, and do those projects while schools were shut down. But the thing that really saved us was having an electrical license and being an electrical contractor. We were able to quickly pivot because electrical contracting was considered essential.
Right.
It was an essential
Yeah.
service, so it never shut down. Being an estimator, I was able to go out and sell several big electrical jobs, kept cash flow coming in, and kept our doors open. But we turned all our guys into electricians.
And that's how we got through. And we were running conduit and digging ditches and pulling wire and doing electrical. We did that for a while.
And we were able to keep everybody on and keep everybody employed. We were
We
busier.
thrived during
we actually
COVID
thrived during COVID.
in that division.
Because in that division, we had so much business that our revenues for that year were greater than the previous 3 years combined.
Yeah.
It threw off enough revenue and enough assets to allow us to expand the production department coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd say that was a pivot. So tell me, what do you expect to get out of this? What's your long-term vision for ELS?
I'd say that I want to innovate and change the industry, the way the industry does things, and I want to be, one of the best providers in the industry and be known for quality and reliability, but also be known for innovation in not only the, technical and wow factor things, but also innovating the way that we treat crew, the way that we do shows, and the way that people are involved in the entertainment industry as a whole, the way that the toxic culture of the entertainment industry, trying to change that and be better about that and just do things differently than the norm of the other entertainment companies. I think that's where I'd like to see us be someday.
I wholeheartedly agree. I want to leave a lasting mark on the industry too, making sure that you are ready to lead this company in the future and have the tools and the mindset necessary to do that. And the way that you treat your people and the way that you treat your clients, I can't think of anybody that does it better than us, because that's what it's all about, is ethics. We are not going to take advantage of people. We are not going to gouge clients. We are not going to put in substandard work. We are going to leave this industry better than we found it.
Sorry, I'm cool. I've done this before. Wait.
Are you sure you're forklift certified?
Dude. I'm gonna hit something. Ah!
There you go. You get used to it. You got it. There you go.
Welcome to the Gigs Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Sanz, founder and CEO of Gigs. And this is the...
I don't think she was forklift certified.